talk here. So I am, he cannot get on with his phone. So he's going to talk through my computer speakers. Pat, say something. Say check.
Checkity. Morning, everybody.
You guys, can you hear Patrick? Are you able to hear him? If you guys on Instagram could just drop a comment and let me know that you're able to hear Patrick.
I might actually be able to get in there. Why don't we start with our normal introductions? Introduce yourself. I think I got it now. Actually, I think I can jump in there. Hold on.
Hey, Jonah, Mark, what's going on, guys? You guys are able to hear Patrick as he's talking? I'm getting a bunch of thumbs up, so I think we're good.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Actually, I can get in, dude. I can get in.
They're saying they can hear you, so I would just kick that out.
I just requested.
We're live. Where are we live right now?
On all of them.
Okay, great.
By the way, I just
audio on your side.
I just requested on Instagram. See if I can just jump in, and then we can get the double going.
Well, then I'm gonna have to get my headset.
This is you running it for once, which is totally interesting.
Yeah, this isn't gonna work.
Okay, then I'll pop off.
You just stay where you're at. If you guys want to see Patrick, head over to Facebook because we're live on Facebook as well.
Yeah, I've got the comments. All right, well, introduce yourself. Let's get the ceremony.
It just kicked me off. 1 second. All right. Okay. Now I'm live again. So I'm Nick Friend. I'm the CEO and owner of Art Storefronts.
Yep. Patrick, run marketing. As you can see in our handy little tags, on Facebook, YouTube, and in the group and everywhere else. Happy Saturday, everybody.
Yeah, we're back on Instagram here. Sorry, guys, we're good to go now. So Pat, let's get right into it. It was a very interesting week, right? Like we did multiple sessions. We actually did 2 this week for the first time, where we had conversations with non-Art Storefronts members, right? Just hopping on the Zoom call, and you and I are listening to where they're at. What's their roadblock? What's their hurdle? What's stopping them from moving forward? And we're just continuing to get just incredible learnings on this. I mean, now that we've been doing this for the last couple of weeks, right? With non-members, it's been so fascinating because we probably talked to, how many have we talked to live on these? Maybe over 100 now, people probably, maybe more.
Oh, dude, way more than that.
Way more. But we're finding like the patterns are all the same. It's all the same, right? And
you should zoom out. You should zoom out and give the context. So let's talk about Art Storefronts pre-pandemic, right? Like, Nick's CEO, I'm running the marketing. We're putting out a ton of content. We're talking to our customers in the group. We're occasionally having one-on-one conversations. Well, that's where it started, really, right? Like you and I started having one-on-one conversations with individual customers trying to get them unstuck. And so from those individual conversations emerged a pattern of learning. Then the pandemic hit. Then we started our workshops, right? So this is week 25, 26, or 25, 26, 30 of them that we've done between office hours and the one-off deep dives. And so that's like multiple hours a day talking with our customers. They're telling us what their art marketing problems are, where they're stuck, what they're hung up on. Then we started talking to potential customers. So people that we don't know, strangers that are coming in that are interested in our product. And like the profundity in all this and where we're going is what's emerged from those series of learnings, right? What's emerged from those series of learnings, and I'll sum it up, and then we want to do a deep dive on it. 1, we sell a software solution. 2, we sell a marketing solution. 3, you can't sell either of those until you get through this list of objections, this list of hurdles, this list of self-limiting beliefs that hold back all these artists and photographers out there from making a move, from trying to sell their art, from trying to validate their idea, from going to market, from just getting out of their own way and attempting to execute, right? Like, that's what it is, big picture. And what a profound sense of learning. And I think let's go into the beliefs, but it's crazy. We hear it from our customers as much as we do the non-customers, right?
Yeah, they're further down the line. Like they're way further down the trough than like the non-members, like in terms of like, like the quality of their thinking and how advanced they are with all this stuff, right? They're way down. And so, and I think we should say that like we have always sought from the very beginning when we started, providing a service for photographers and artists years ago to provide value, right? Like we started our blog right? You started the Art Marketing Podcast, right? And the whole goal was to provide, we knew marketing was always the problem, right? Get people getting more eyeballs on their work, more collectors, all that type of stuff. And so we've largely spent the entire time providing like, you know, free marketing content. You know, obviously it's only like a taste of, but just to get people to understand who we are and that, you know, we know what we're doing and stuff like that. So we spent like what, 5 or 6 years doing that, right? Yeah. And what's so fascinating is that we have learned that, you know, in working with our customers and then talking now to non-members, that we could literally give them our software and our art marketing calendar. Like I could give it to one of these people and it won't work for them because they're not ready yet. Yeah. They're not ready yet. They are going to make so many mistakes because it's of the quality of their thinking that it'll happen anywhere. I mean, it's right in the middle. They're working on one playbook. They make one decision in there, you know, and it's a horrible decision. You don't even realize you're making it, but it's based on like 10 years of thinking or things that people put in your head about what you think you're supposed to do or what you don't think you're going to do. And it's just amazing to me. And it's these, as you said, it's these self-limiting beliefs, right? And for those of you who don't really know, like if you've never heard that phrase before, their self-limiting beliefs are like they're assumptions that you have that are in some way holding you back from achieving what you are truly capable of, right? Yeah. So like, and you know what the truth is, Pat, and I think this is, you know, this is where I'm going with this. Like the punchline of this whole thing is that your product just doesn't matter. You know, like if you think that your product, your art at the end of the day is going to make you successful and get you to the finish line, you have no idea how this goes, okay? Your art, your actual product is, you know, 10% of what creates success as an artist, right? It's 90% is all the rest of it, because you could have the best art in the world and nobody's going to see it, right? Or you're going to prevent everything from happening. And these self-limiting beliefs, that's why it's said that like these self-limiting beliefs, they're just roadblocks that are preventing you from achieving what you are truly capable of. And what we're doing on our Zoom calls is we are removing those, right? We are removing all of these self-limiting beliefs. Let's rattle off, like just start rattling off what we've heard. I mean, I'll start going down the list in my head, right? Like,
yeah, but before you even do, like,
okay,
to state this whole thing another way, conceptually, right? Our company before, it's like, let's just say we have an artist or a photographer. Our job, your and I's job, is to make that artist or photographer successful, right? That's our job ultimately. And what we found is, let me give you an analogy. I love analogies. You're in a river, and it's a raging river, and you're out there in the middle of the river, flopping around, just trying to get to the banks, right? And we thought, okay, that's that artist or photographer. It's our job to rescue him and get him out of that river, right? And so the first thing that we did is we thought we threw him a life preserver, which was our marketing content, right? Our blog, our podcast. We thought we would just throw in that preserver and that would do it. And it turns out that's a brick. It's actually a brick. All it does is just make you drown even quicker, right?
It's true.
Then we thought the website. Okay, the website. Maybe this will be a giant floaty, a pool noodle, something you can get yourself up out of the muck on. That's not it either. Do you know what it is? It's saying, guess what? The river over here is 6 inches deep, and you could walk right out of it, right? So until we show you how to get out of the river, how to get out of your way, get unstuck on these stupid, silly things that get planted in your head, the content and the website, it's not going to help you. It's not going to do anything for you, you know? And it's crazy. And again, this is as profound and true for the people that are not customers that are. Everyone just has these beliefs that hold you back. But go, let's rattle through the list.
Yeah. So like, I mean, you know, discounting, you know, I don't have enough pieces, or discounting is like, I shouldn't discount ever. Right. I've been told that, heard that somewhere. And number of pieces, I don't have enough pieces yet. Right.
Yeah.
I believe that like, I have a very unique set of customers, right? Like that is only mine, and it's very narrow, right? Or you know, my customers. This is the best, right? Who do we hear this from? Everybody, right? My customers, have to make $100,000 a year, or they're high net worth individuals. So I'm different from everybody, right? I'm different from everybody. How do I do that? All I need is to do that. How do I find more of that? But it's not the fact that it's not the fact that that statement is like, is wrong. It's the fact that everybody is trying to do that. You're not unique. You are not unique. Every single person is, if you're selling originals, right? Like that person that sells originals from $5,000 to $30,000 is trying to do the same thing. The person, selling limited editions, same thing. It's amazing. Like that one is a big one. That one's a big one. Then there's the belief that, the passive income, the get rich quick belief, right? That's
that there's a website out there, or that there's some other route out there. And if you just get to it and you put your art there, then everything is going to be okay. The magical list of email subscribers of high net worth individuals, or the, just getting into this one gallery or the one marketplace website that I can just upload my stuff, or anything across the board that would entitle you to somehow just put your work out there, not have to do any marketing and be successful, right? If I could just get all my pieces photographed first, if I could just get all my pieces, the high-end photographed first, then I can launch, right? Then I can get going. Everyone tells me my art is great, I'll do great, but I'm never going to take a shot at actually selling it or putting it out there, right?
That's another big one that's emerged, right? Like you got all these people with good work, like a lot of people telling them that it's really good, and so a lot of them have I haven't even tried to sell it, and I've sold it, you know what I mean? But then they haven't taken any step forward, and they're just kind of lollygagging around for years. And it's like, what you need to do. You need to just properly equip yourself and get on with it, right? And I said this on a Zoom call yesterday. I was like, if you know that you're going to be an artist or photographer, you're going to give it a shot. Give it a shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give it a shot. Spend a couple of years trying to build the business, properly equip yourself, and then in 2 or 3 years, if you can't make it work, hang it out, right? But at least you took it forward. You didn't, lollygag around for a year or 5 years or 10 years. You actually looked at it logically and went okay, I'm going to do this. What's the best way to execute on this business, right? On actually giving this a real shot, and just do it. Just do it tomorrow, right? And then you'll get your answer in a few years. But there's so many people just sitting there on the fence, and they've got some sort of self-limiting belief, some roadblock in their path mentally. And unless you remove that person will never be successful. It's literally impossible, and I'm
not good on camera. I couldn't possibly go on camera. I'm so nervous. I couldn't possibly, no, I couldn't, I can't. Right? All of these things, it's like the drain is plugged up, right? And nothing can get in there, it just keeps hitting that clog and stopping. And you don't take the next step, and you don't try something, you don't ship it. And boy, it's paralyzing. And it's where everyone is. Everyone's in the same thing.
So to sum that up, we were talking about how we used to provide, traditionally all this marketing content, for free on our blog and on the podcast. It's a taste of what we do. But because our goal was to try to provide some value up front, then just be generous about it, right? That's always been our goal. We want to provide value, and the rest will take care of itself when we provide value. People understand that we're really good at what we're doing, right? And what we've learned in this is that the actual value that we can provide, it actually has nothing to do with marketing when you're for non-members, right? For non-members, it's not the right, it's the wrong medicine. It's the wrong medicine. Actually, on the topic of medicine, the right medicine is the red pill, right? The right medicine is actually the red pill, which is, a phrase from the Matrix, of
the blue pill, the red pill.
Yeah, exactly. And it's expanding your minds and realizing that it's actually, more of a mental thing than anything else. And the value what's amazing about these Zoom conferences too, Pat, with non-members, is people are coming back multiple times, and they're sitting there and they're listening to other artists and photographers talk and tell their story, and they're not talking, and they're coming multiple times. And it's almost like a therapy session. And I love it. And the comments that we're getting are so positive. And that's the part that I love about it, is because now we are providing real value to non-members. the real value, like that could change their life in one conversation. You know what I mean? Because they got no one to talk to. They have no one who's done it before, no mentorship, nobody surrounding them that's running businesses, you know, or working with thousands of artists and photographers on their businesses. And the second they get exposure to us, to people who have, we give them absolute truth about what's going on and the situation and how they should think about it based on everyone that we're working with and anyone who's successful in the industry, right? And then they hear that and it's like, oh my gosh, I know what to do now. And it's like you see that light bulb go off and it's a beautiful thing.
So you and I went to high school together. Did you ever take the auto shop class with Mr. Johnson?
No.
So he had this saying in the auto shop class. He goes, "You ever hear the saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink?"
Of course.
He would go, "BS, you can't make him drink." He goes, "I will grab that horse head, put it right down in the water, and hold it down there until they drink." And is somewhat disturbing as that mental picture is, that's literally what it is, right? I'll give you the perfect example. We had a gal, and I'm not picking on her, was on the call, and she's like, you know, I'm not gonna hint it, but she's like, you know, I've won a ton of awards, right? I've won a ton of awards, multiple exhibitions. I have a beautiful website. It's fantastic. What would I possibly need your service for, right? That's bring the horses down there by the water. What was your first question to her? Oh yeah?
How much did you
sell on your website? And she, in total, I think you said.
I said in total. How much did you sell in 2019 total?
And what'd she say?
She said $1,500.
$1,500.
Yeah.
And then so okay. And so in her mind, she's like, I've won all these awards. Okay. Everyone loves me. I'm doing great. I don't need to do any marketing. I'm on a great path. And yet she was there, right? She was at the edge of the water, but she hadn't had the drink yet. And it's like, your website is not doing anything for you. You actually have to market. You cannot go down to the ATM and press the button for I've won awards and have it spit out cash to provide for your life.
Exactly.
And so at the end of that call, where was she? She's like, "You're right. I've got great photos. I've never started marketing them." She drank, right? Now that she drank, what could she do? She can get a website and she can start in earnest on her marketing and realize it's going to be a 3 to 5 year journey of building your email list, building your web traffic, building your social following, and you can actually grow a business and the sales will just rise with you as you go along.
And you know what for her,
what's that?
That moment was one of the most profound moments in her life. And I guarantee it going forward, it was an inflection point, right? Because she was very stubborn about her position on that. Like, I'm great. I'm unique. I'm not like these other people, right? Like, you know, I'm not like these other people. I've won awards.
I've won awards. I know my work is great.
Exactly. And, you know, I listen to all this, you know, and that's why I asked the question, like, let's talk truth. Let's talk let's get to brass tacks here, right? What did you sell in 2019? $1,500. Okay, cool. Now I know that there are people who are completely unknown, stay-at-home moms and dads on Art Storefronts that are kicking your butt, that nobody knows. They haven't won a single award or anything. So I told her, you know, hey, your business is broken. There's nothing working there. Oh, you love your website. Great. Nobody else does. Yeah. Sorry. It's the truth. If you're not selling and you think that like you've won some awards and that like if that hasn't translated into business, you probably should start listening a little bit and looking at why that's like, what's the problem here? You know? Yeah. What's the problem? But to her credit, she came back on the next Zoom call, you know, and totally softened up, took that information, and I'm really stoked for her, you know, because if you see like, dude, you have to be able to like, it's perfectly okay. We all have these in different areas of our lives. For artists and photographers, it's oftentimes, or the vast majority of the time, it's about the way you think about your business and what's going to get you to the next level, right? And that's completely off, and that's what needs to be corrected, you know? Yeah. And
the themes are like so consistent, right? Like, let me give you a couple of examples. Like, I had someone on a call saying, well, do you guys ship internationally, right? If I come up on with you and I put my art online, do you ship internationally, right? And you hear that question, you're like, that's a good, honest question, right? But it's not, because we heard so many of them, we know it's a limiting belief. I was like, okay, I can't remember her name was Marie. I think it was Marie. And I was like, Marie, just out of curiosity, have you sold anything international ever? And she goes, no, but it'd be really cool if I could. What are you asking? What are you asking if you could ship internationally? You've never even taken an order. And as a result of that, you're not launching, you're not getting live, you're not working on your marketing. Another guy, not picking on you either, we're like, I sell limited editions. How do you handle the hand numbering of them? Like, how can I get that done, right? Again, seems like an honest question. How many of those limited editions have you sold? And so this is the perfect example of where you set up all of these rules, why it's not going to work in your head, right? My work's not photographed yet. I can't ship internationally. I can't sell tchotchke on the website. How am I going to handle the limited editions? Everyone likes my work hand signed, so I couldn't possibly sell it online. You haven't sold anything. Stop. Get out of your own way. Start marketing.
Exactly.
They're so consistent, right?
Yeah.
It's like those are the questions. It's like, until you take the red pill and you realize the rules of the game, there's no amount of education. There's no amount of cajoling. There's no more poking, prodding that you can do. You have to take the red pill.
So it's a perfect time to actually say two things here. When's our next session? Okay. Our next session are we going to do one on Monday? We're definitely on Wednesday for non Art Storefronts members. We're sticking to that Wednesday, Friday, probably, right? At 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 Central, 12 Eastern. And if you like us on Facebook or you follow us on Facebook, then you're going to get a notification. Get on our email list if you want to be notified exactly when we're going on. We also have on our blog at blog.artstorefronts.com. There's a link in the navigation that says, Facebook Lives or join us on Facebook Live, something like that. There's like a red icon next to it. You can click on that, and then it'll show you one of our recent ones, and you can subscribe right there too. But so so that's going on. And if you want to see one right now, just look at yesterday. We just did one yesterday. It's in Facebook. It's in our feed. Just scroll down to yesterday, and you will see Patrick and I talking live on Zoom with a whole bunch of people about exactly what we're talking about right now. The second thing is, for anybody that's on here that is interested in potentially joining Art Storefronts and becoming a part of our community and getting the proper art gallery website, and the marketing consulting, we are running a big special right now. A sale to join, a discount, and it ends at the end of the month. Okay, so there's only like 10 business days left. Okay, and the spots fill up really fast. They're already filling up. So if you're interested, make sure you request a demo on Instagram. You can go into there's a link in our bio, and there'll be a request a demo button once you click on that. And then on Facebook, if you go to our website, www.artstorefronts.com, there's always a request a demo button in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Fill that out. Somebody will get back to you really quick. It'll probably be, during business hours, but they'll have a discovery call with you, figure out what your goals are, what's going on, and see if you're a good fit for us. It's that simple.
It's like when you're playing golf and you have like a golf teacher who's like teaching you, right? And you're sitting there and you're doing your backswing. Your teacher's kind of giving you some pointers and everything else. And you're just constantly picking your head up, right? You're constantly picking your head up before you hit the ball. So it's going here, there, everywhere. And you take a swing and you pick your head up and the ball goes here, there, and everywhere. And you say to your coach, I know what I did, right? I know what I did there. I picked my head up again, right? I picked my head up again. Like, your goal is just to hit a straight shot down the thing. And you just keep self-sabotaging yourself with all these things that don't let you hit the thing down the thing, because you just keep picking your head up. And then you're like, I know. Like that one guy yesterday, Drew, he was awesome. And was it Drew? I think it was Drew. And he's like, everyone tells me I got to just get going and get out of my way, get out of my own way and launch and actually start, right? And get going. He knew what he needed to do, but he was still in his own way. And he hasn't taken the red pill.
He was so much further than a lot of people too, right? Like he has been waiting to launch for so long that he actually built what did he say? 2,000 followers on Instagram or something like that. Like, by sharing his photography for 5 years or 10 years, it was wild. Yeah. People have asked me to buy it. I've never made it available. What should I do? And it's launch now. Right now, launch, go.
Yeah,
Yesterday, exactly. Yeah. Very simple. What are you waiting for? Go. Yeah. Right? Otherwise, you're just going to sit here for another 5 years, and it's going to take you way longer to achieve success, because it takes time. You got to build a business, right? And or you never do it, and you never find out whether this could have been an amazing thing for you and your customers and your fans and frankly your life. So you just got to, in his case, it's like, just go. There's, but it was amazing because he came on and it's almost as if he was looking for an answer for us to tell him what else, he needs to knock out before he's looking for more things, almost like a list of to-dos to knock out before he actually takes the business forward,
Yeah.
And then, like, nope, move, go. Like, you've already wasted way too much time. You're taking too long. You need to go. Like, keep going, right?
Yeah.
Best advice he ever heard, and I think he's going to be totally successful.
Yeah, that's the other follow-up on all of it. It's like, even if you get past the initial, call it wave or raft of self-limiting beliefs, they still reemerge later down the trough, right? Like further on the journey. Like, you just constantly need the push. You constantly need the push. Let me qualify that. So, Nick and I saw the writing on the wall even before this whole pandemic cropped up, that live video was going to be a big deal. Still is a big deal. And we just started shipping and started executing on these things. We're doing them 5, 6, 7 days a week. I think you and I have been live over 150, 160, 170 times now. Who knows how many times? We've done it so many times. So we see this technique. We know that it's working. We teach it in the group, how to go live on Instagram, how to go live on Facebook. What is the tradecraft involved with all of it, right? Like, what's the best way to do it? We have a group of people full saying, I don't have a good camera. I don't have good lighting. I don't have a good audio device. I'm not good on camera. I don't have that many followers. Like, this is just not something I could do or ever really want to do. And then all of a sudden, what do? We just start pushing. We say, you can't hesitate. You got to get out of your way. You got to just start shipping these things. It does not matter. No one cares. There's lowered standards. Everyone's doing it from cell phones. It doesn't matter. There's no hair. There's no makeup. Nobody gives a crap, right? And over the course of yesterday to this weekend, I think I saw in upwards of 25 members that had shipped live products.
Yeah,
Instagram,
I think
Facebook.
More. I think I've seen even more after last night and yesterday. Like, there are a lot, and there's a lot scheduled. Like, you go into our private members forum, like, you will see people have scheduled them for Sunday, for tonight. It's pretty cool. It's
amazing.
Yeah, and it, like, you like, in our private workshop, like, there was a moment there, right, where somebody said, like, I'm not good on camera, or I'm, like, afraid to get on camera or whatever. And
which is 99 out of 100 people. Which is 99 out of 100 people.
Which is 99 out of 100. It was like a seminal moment, because what happened, right? I'm like, I didn't want to get on camera either, and I was afraid of it, and I didn't want to do it. Then you said it, right? Then Betty Krause, who, all these people who look so natural on camera, right? She's like, I didn't want to do it either. And it turns out that 100% of the people that are actually doing these live sessions, right, and are doing these things, posting themselves in their own pictures and all that stuff, 100% didn't want to do it. And they struggle to actually, open up and just do it and just ship it, right? And so, like, right there, it was over. All the members that are on that workshop are just like, oh my goodness, self-limiting belief. It turns out that every single person felt the way that I did. So now, you know what I mean? And feels the way that I am. Wow, this is amazing. Let's move forward. I'm going to do it, And so, boom, everybody's starting to do it, and they're following the playbook. And what Patrick is talking about specifically, we should probably give some context for non-members. We do these workshops on Zoom calls. They're private for Art Storefronts members only. We do them Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday and Thursday are the ones that Patrick and I focus on. The Wednesday one is the marketing launch workshop. That's where our team is working with new members, because we want everybody to get their website live in 14 days. 14 days. No longer, because for the next 10 years, you got to do marketing. The website, that's it. It's done. All you do is just keep uploading your work as you take more work. That's it, right? You're done with it. And anyways, we're doing these workshops multiple days a week. And that's where, like, the primary consulting arm is. But Thursday, we were doing one on, the live art show playbook, all the various ways that you can go live on Instagram and Facebook, but how you play it. Like, there's a whole strategy that's being built out, that's already, we've built it out and we're improving it, like, every day. And obviously after that workshop, we got a bunch of improvements, but because the goal is you need to collect leads from these, and you got to get sales, right? Otherwise, what's the point? So we're always training everybody. You got to be collecting leads. You got to be collecting leads, because that's the only way you get sales. And so the whole playbook got built out. Even last week, we released a brand new template landing page specifically for these shows, right? So like if you're an Art Storefronts member, you go into your website site manager, as we call it, and you add a page, and right there's like a little ASF templates option where you have all these template pages that we've created, our marketing team has created to give you the exact type of information, the pre-written copy, the exact way to execute on a specific strategy. So in the case of the live art show, there's now a live art show page. And guess what? People have been launching them and shipping them all week, right? And so we're gonna have a whole new set of results, coming into next week. That's gonna be super fun to talk about with all the members.
Yeah, do you know what's so funny about it is that this is what it likens me to, right? Because video is so terrifying. It's terrifying for absolutely everybody. So we're telling everybody, like, you got to do video, you got to do video, you got to do video. And by the way, pre-pandemic, I was never on camera once. I hate being on camera. You started doing a few videos before the pandemic, but me, nothing, zero. You never saw my face once. I was hiding behind a microphone with my radio face doing the podcast, right? Never once on video. So I figured it out. But what the workshop, I think the profound moment in the workshop, it's like we're all hiking up this mountain together, right? The side of this mountain, and it's overlooking the ocean, right? And it turns out it's like a 40-foot cliff jump, right? And what do you do when you get to that edge of the cliff? It's terrifying, right? It's terrifying. You're looking over, and you're looking down there, and you're like, should I do this? Should I do this? You start psyching yourself up. Should I do it? Should I do it? I'm terrified. Do I just go back down? That's kind of like a scary climb back down. And then the workshop happens, and like the first batch of members that shipped their first ones and got it in the water, like they talked about them. So this was on, what was it, Tuesday or Thursday? It was Thursday. So we brought on 5 members that talked about their experiences, what they did, what they got in the water. And we showed a little bit of Magic's, and not to pick on Magic because he shipped it and it was awesome. But you could tell his conversation was so awkward in the beginning, right? He's like, hey guys, thanks for joining me on my first art show, right? Because you could tell he had never done this before in his life, right? You could never done this before. But what I saw in that moment, and I've seen the results after the fact, is for everyone else that was on that call that was standing on the sidelines, he was right behind him as they looked over the edge of the cliff. And you know what he did? He goes, sorry. And he just pushed them, right? Like you saw him and you're like, okay, wait a minute. There he is. This guy's not a movie star. There's no hair. There's no makeup. He doesn't even sound like it's completely comfortable. If he did it, I can do it. And I think that's the power of those sessions. It's getting you up to the edge of the cliff and you're like, I don't know. Sorry. And the push. And the next thing you know, you're flying down, you hit the water, you come up to the surface and you're like, that wasn't that big of a deal. And the next thing you know, you're running up and down and jumping off the cliff all the time.
Yep. It's one of the benefits of like that you just never even realize, like as a member, like you join, like it's impossible to talk about all of the things that like happen as a result of the membership. But, like, that is such
look on Insta. Wendy's like, yes. The workshop did it for me, right? And I know Marie's on here. Marie would have said the same thing. And then Kelly, a little hot fire, got to rip the Band-Aid.
Yes,
you got to rip the Band-Aid, and then you got to rip the Band-Aid again and again and again. We're here right now, ripping the Band-Aid off right now again.
Do you know what the truth is too? That is like just like really, really important to understand, like for everybody, for ourselves and for everybody, is that it's like the paradox of the fear that you have with going live and being like putting yourself out there and in your pictures or videos, is that like being you authentically is actually the thing that's going to make you the most successful.
Yep. By the way, it takes no prep. It takes no practice. You just wing it. Hopefully something falls down in the background. I mean, what did Magic say? His easel dropped all the way down from his studio in the middle of the thing. It went down. His wife had to hand it back.
So great.
That's the stuff people remember. That's the stuff people love.
You know what's so incredible about this era that we're in right now, Pat, is that like, you've seen these like YouTube stars, like I've got 3 daughters, like 3 young daughters, right? And so I see there's this young girl, JoJo Siwa is her name, right? And she basically became like a YouTube star, and she's like a total like musician star, right? Like little pop star kid. And not on Disney or anything, just did it all on her own. So you have all these things that have been happening over the last few years on YouTube. And what's incredible about this is that, this new thing of doing these things, like what, we just explained, magic is, the easel falls off on the second story. Like, this is a new form of entertainment that is so real, that's happening live in people's homes, and like, it is just so incredible. Like the gatekeepers, like, dude, it is gone, right? In the art industry, gone. Like, once you see one of these art shows, one of these artists doing one of these art shows, you realize, like, oh my gosh, like Magic did. He said, I just had a gallery opening in my house, okay? And I had people on there from Europe, he's in Canada. He's like from California, from Texas. I mean, he rattled off he said Vietnam. He had people that he met years ago, that were on his email list or were following him years ago on Facebook. And like, they're on there and they're dropping comments like, I love this. I love this. This was so much fun, So it's really an amazing thing. But back to what I was saying about like the authenticity is that if you're nervous, if you're really nervous, you're probably in your mind trying to concoct a self-image that you think you need to be, right? Like, you're worried about it. You're worried about your self-image and how you're going to be perceived. And that is exactly the wrong thing, the wrong way to think, because what you actually need to do is just be you. Don't be anything different than you, right? Be authentic, be you, make all the mistakes that you make, talk in the language that you talk, wear the clothes that you wear. Don't be the further you get away from being authentic, the worse the effect is going to be. And you're not going to have fun with it and you're not going to enjoy it. But actually be you. And the closest you are to that, the more real it's going to be, and it will resonate. It's just the paradox. It's the way, it's just the natural way that the world actually really works. And that's what's so interesting about it. So I hope that helps all of you, like, take the leap.
Yes. I mean, surprise, surprise. We're all human beings. We are all deeply flawed and quirky individuals. Every single solitary person to a man. Just, get on with it, right? Like, just get on with it. Like, everybody's the same. It's profound now. It's literally profound.
And that's where you go, like, it's funny, we're talking about self-limiting beliefs, but that's a perfect example of self-limiting beliefs, in the membership over one of the latest marketing tactics that is state of the art that we're training on right now, right? We've got it. We're like, everybody needs to be doing this. Boom. Self-limiting beliefs. First thing that pops up. And what do we have to do? What is your and my job? We have to squash them all. We have to squash them all. And so, like, you guys listening right now, probably some of you are like, wow, like, that just did it for me. Like, I've been way too afraid, of who of this person that I should be online. No, there is no person you should be. It's you. You go to you, and that's it. That's it. If that doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But you got to just be you.
It literally sounds like when I hear us talking right now, it sounds like we've turned into some sort of gurus. I mean, are we going to start banging a drum and dancing and lighting some incense or something? Because it's like, that we're given this woo-woo information, but man, it is the whole ballgame. It's the whole ballgame.
We set out to grow a software company for artists and photographers, right? And it just so happens that my entire life's work has become like a big part of the product, and yours as well. Like, and what I mean by that is 20 years of entrepreneurship, 20 years of starting and building companies and scaling and advising other entrepreneurs, and then that turned into advising thousands of entrepreneurs that are actually artists and photographers, right? That's the irony of the whole thing. It's actually us just being authentically us. We don't have to prepare for it. Instead of us having these conversations with just you and I on the phone, which we always would do every day, we're just having them live. We're just having them live with you guys. And we've got an audience here that can actually benefit from it.
Yeah. And we should rewind and like say this. So, prior to Nick and I doing these with customers and not, we had an amazing sales team, right? They're great people. They're good at their jobs. And they've been talking to thousands and thousands and thousands of artists over the years. And there was our business in that mode, which was going well. And then there's our business in this mode now. And it's completely different. And you and I have been talking about the difference between us and the salespeople. And it's not a knock on the salespeople. It's they haven't started businesses, right? They haven't been tasked with every single solitary aspect, wearing all the hats, failed miserably at it. And if you haven't done that, and again, it's not a knock, then you don't know all these rules, all these lessons, right? Like on the live yesterday, I quoted the West Wing line, which is so great, right? I mean, I love that line. It's like, guy falls into a hole and he's stuck down there, right? And he's yelling in the hole, help me, can you get me out of here? And a doctor comes walking by, looks down in the hole. And the doctor says, hey, he's like, help me. The doctor's like, pulls out his pad, writes a prescription, throws it down in the hole, keeps going, right? Like, and then the next thing you know, a pastor comes walking down, a priest, whatever, a rabbi. And he goes, help me, can you get me out of this hole? I'm stuck in this hole. And the rabbi bends down, says a prayer, and then keeps walking. And then the next thing you know, he hears somebody coming, help me, I'm down this hole, can you help me? And it's his friend, and his friend jumps right down into the hole with him. And he goes, dude, what are you doing? Now we're both stuck down here. And the friend is like, yeah, but I've been down here before, and I know the way out, right? And it's like, how many times are we seeing that? Like, do I need to start my LLC right now, or do I just start marketing my art? You don't open the bank account until you have a check, right? Like we're coming in with like 1,000 different like business level lessons learned the hard way of failure and iterating and trying to grow companies our whole lives. And that part of it is amazing. And it is one of the most necessary parts. It's so much more than just like, here's how you market your art, or here's how you market your photography. It's holistically, from soup to nuts, every aspect of the business and where you should be focusing your time. The printing, how good of an example is the printing?
Oh,
right?
The printing is a great one.
Like, okay, so we're on these Zoom calls. And the people in the background have a printer, and Nick's been in this business for 20 years, however long you've been in the printing business. And so Nick knows all the printers and talks to them. And there's the artist and the photographer, and they're talking about how they do their own prints, right? And so they're doing their own prints instead of using POD, and they're spending so much time doing that. The proofing, the color match, running one, running another, maintaining the printer. After it's done, the stretching it, the whatever else, the packing it up. And they think that that's a good use of their time. And they think that that's going to help them grow the business, and it's part of their craft. And it might be, but it is not the biggest problem that you have in your business. And until someone tells you that is an absolute material waste of your time, you are not incrementally helping the business at all. That's a hard thing to know unless somebody tells you all the reasons why, right? So,
exactly.
That's the perfect example. It's like, it's so much more than the marketing or I guess I should say marketing advice. It's now morphed into like how you run your business. What are the important things to work on, right?
You can't even plan it. You can't even plan for it, because the person that came into that Zoom call and said like, I don't have an LLC or whatever, like, it's not like you and I planned the answer, but it's like, right from that, I got to tell my story about my second business that I started, where, I made a sale. The first thing I did was pick up the phone, and I made a sale, for like $100, whatever it was. And I didn't have a credit card machine. I took the credit card, I wrote it down, and I got off that call, and I was like, oh my goodness, I got to get a merchant account. And so I literally ordered a merchant, a merchant account, like they give you the actual credit card machine. This is 2003. So you had actual physical technology to do this. And it took 2 weeks to get it. And I had to keep the guy on ice. And then I ran the credit card, and the business was formed. It was as simple as that, right? But you can't, but Pat, like we were saying, you can't plan this, right? It's our life's work. And it's not like you're trying to be a guru. It just so happens. It just so happens that the biggest problem in this industry is not what photographers and artists actually think it is. They think like, I need my product needs to get better, or I need to just make another piece or take another shot, or, I just need a magic list of collectors or something like that. And it's not any of those things, It's the thing that
it's really fun.
Like problem that you're not seeing, and it's these self-limiting beliefs are totally in your way, and there's something that's stopping you, and it will stop you, and it will literally stop you until you remove it. Honestly, the best advice I could ever give to change the career of an artist, they asked me, Nick, what's the number one marketing tactic? Patrick, what's the number one marketing tactic I just do right now, right? Just tell it to me, right? Like, no, that's not going to help you at all. Literally, it will not help you at all. The best advice that we can give, is the former. Yeah.
And it sounds like, I'm not holding myself up to be a guru. You're not either. It's not arrogance or self-aggrandizement or anything else. It's just like, we've done this our entire lives. We've made all these mistakes, and, the artist, the photographer, they're creators. primarily, right? Like they're creative types. They haven't been growing and running businesses their entire life. So it's so easy to just do these little course corrections and get you off the knucklehead stuff, right? Like number one, how much money do you want to be making a year from your art? What is the goal? Is it to support your family? Is it retirement? Is it just for fun? Once you have alignment on that, it's very easy to say that is not going to bring you additional revenue in your business. That is not a high ROI activity. As such, stop it. Stop it. And let me just take that burden right off your back. It's gone. And then I'm going to put another one on there, which is actually going to grow your business, right? And then let's keep marching. But it's profound.
So you want to leave it there? We'll just do a couple reminders. So we're going to have another live session with non-Art Storefronts members with Patrick and I, definitely on Wednesday and definitely on Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 Central, 12 Eastern. Okay. So if you have a roadblock, if you're one of these people, you are a perfect candidate to go on one of these. We will help you work through whatever it is, whatever that question is, whatever you think's holding you back, or you're wrestling with something and you're just not sure how to make a decision and get through it. We'll help you, get right through that. The next thing is, the other announcement is, Art Storefronts is running a very big sale right now. It ends at the end of the month. And if you are interested in joining, it's a great discount. It's the best time ever to join and take advantage of it. So if you're interested in that, request a demo ASAP, okay? Because the spots are filling up and the last week is gonna be bananas of the month. And last month, we had to extend the sale because we couldn't get back to everybody. So we're trying to get everybody, like, if you're really interested, please get it in right away and get a time on the calendar with the team. If, of course, they believe it's a fit for you and that they believe we can help you. So request a demo, just go to the link in our bio on Instagram, on Facebook. You can just click on our website link, go to our website, request a demo buttons, always in the top navigation bar, and get in the queue.
Yeah. And I would say, like, if you're on the fence or wherever you are, like, just come and join one of those Zoom sessions. Yes, we're in business. There'll be a little bit of a sales pitch in there, but it's not going to be like trade show status, where they come and they give you a bite of the lobster and they take the lobster away and they say, like, just listen. Listen to some other people get unstuck. Don't say anything. Don't turn your camera on. Don't even turn the audio on. Just sit there and listen. And you'll feel this like profound effect, like, oh my gosh, I have that same problem.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I was doing that exact same thing. And it goes for members and non-members alike. Like, we're constantly running up against getting stuck and getting in our own ways and not preventing us from taking the next step and going forward. And it's a lonely road to do that on your own. You've got to have some support. You've got to have some support structure.
Yeah. And what's interesting? Like, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Because you said there's a little sales pitch in there, and I'm like, there is? Like, I literally go into these, and let's just be completely real. Okay. Mm-hmm. I go into these without a single thought of selling at all. Do you?
I think you just do it naturally.
Yeah, but you're not going into it with the intention of like trying to like convince someone of anything, right?
No.
Honestly, like that's the irony of it, because I think with us it's just more like, here's what we do, we're going to help you. If you think it's a fit, you're going to know. Right?
Yeah.
We're going to know, and you're going to know. And the next step, the next decision is going to be self-evident, right? For everybody. And so it just doesn't matter, right?
It's just radical transparency across the board. Like, that's what we've realized is like the best thing that we can do is just say, like, look, let's open up the blinds. Let's open up the curtain, right? You can look in and see what you like, learn what you will. Like, it's just, here's where we are. Like, there's no smoke. There's no mirrors. Here's what we are. Here's what we do. Here's what we're going to keep doing.
And you're going to be working with us, right? So like, if you want to work with us and you can work with us. So it's pretty interesting. And also, if you're interested in watching one right now, as we said earlier, just watch the one from yesterday. It was great. And it's in our Facebook feed. You just scroll down to yesterday. You'll see the live with Patrick and I on the Zoom call with the non-Art Storefronts members. And so if you want to see like a very short demo of the product, you can actually do that, because it's at the very beginning where Joseph was on, one of the members of our outreach team, and he showed like the features on the website very quickly, just kind of highlights. And then he showed the back end marketing product as well, like what's included in all of that. It's a very brief overview. Yep. At least you get to see it if you don't understand exactly what we do and provide. So yeah. All right. So should we leave it there?
Yeah, we'll leave it there. Enjoy your Saturday. Thanks everybody for watching.
You too.
And have a fantastic weekend.
Bye everybody.
Bye guys.